Hey, what's up, fellow slaves? As promised, a video on the national debt. But I am not going to start at the national debt. I'm going to instead cover this article. Trump threatens to pull tax exemption for schools, colleges. Oh, what a shitty title. It's like, these people really don't know how to write, but that's fine. So, in his push to get schools and colleges to reopen this fall, President Donald Trump is again taking aim at their finances. This time, threatening their tax-exempt status. Now, this is where we get into Upside Down World. Check this out. Trump said on Twitter on Friday he was ordering the Treasury Department to re-examine the tax-exempt status of schools that he says provide radical indoctrination instead of education. So, I'm not going to read any more of this article. I just want to really assess how wildly different those two paragraphs are. So one paragraph starts off with, in his push to get schools and colleges to reopen this fall. So in this paragraph, it seems like he's going after their funding or their finances to push them to reopen this fall. You know, in his push to get schools and colleges to reopen this fall, right? But then in the very next paragraph, it's actually like, it makes it appear like he's going after their funding or their finances because they're indoctrinating students and because they're becoming too politicized. So it's like, which one is it? It's like, why are you going after their funding and their tax exemption? Is it because you want them to reopen this fall? In which case, that's kind of silly. It's like if you want them to reopen this fall, going after their funding and their tax exemption, if you do choose to pull it, would make it harder for them to reopen this fall. So that doesn't make any sense. And then the second paragraph doesn't really make any sense because, okay, if you look at the reasons why you can pull a school's funding, well, then you would also have to pull certain universities that are kind of known to be conservative universities. So, anyway, to me, it doesn't make any sense. To me, the only explanation for this is this right here. Oh, whoopsies. The national debt, it's not all fitting here. So here it goes. This is the only reason why I can think of. So here we have, this is usdebtclock.org, and just an incredible amount of data here in terms of mortgage calculator, gold supply, demand, home sales. You can check out the home sales, the auto sales, all down here, energy output. You can look at gold and precious metals, but then they also have this interesting things over here. And I'm going to probably be making a video on this. Actually, I'll fucking just cover it here, but I'll probably also make a video specifically on this. And that is, what's interesting is this dollar to gold ratio. So dollar to gold ratio, if you look at this over here, in 1913 was 28.97. And now if I'm mistaken, just like gold price in 1913 was about that. It's about $20.67. So this dollar to gold ratio makes somewhat sense. Here in 1913, it shows $28.97. So for every ounce of gold, there was $28.97 in the money supply. It sort of makes sense. We look, an ounce of gold at that time was about $20. Okay, well, at least here it's showing 1914. It's not showing 1913. It's close enough, though. And now it's saying what the gold to dollar ratio is now is $31,219 per ounce of gold. So I believe based off of this, we could say gold is, if we were to go to a gold standard, it would probably be worth somewhere around there, probably around 28,000. But anyway, I digress. That's just there's just a lot of data here. So I'm going to just focus right now on the U.S. national debt. You can see it right here. 26 trillion. And guys, there's a time machine up here. So let's go back to 2016. In 2016, the national debt was 19 trillion. When Trump took office, it was still about 19 trillion. I think it was like 19.8 or something like that. So Trump has raised it from 19.8, we can say 20 trillion. But still, in less than 4 years, He's managed to increase the national debt by at least $6.5 trillion. That's much faster than any president before him. But check this out. We're in an interesting crossroad here. The national debt is 26.5 trillion. It's been increasing like a trillion a month, guys, to be honest. Like, I've been following this thing, and like every about month and a half it's gone up a trillion. And if you check this out, US federal spending official and then actual, so 5 trillion 360 billion is the official spending numbers. The deficit, the official deficit is 2.7 trillion. And it's hilarious because I was basically right. In my video about the GOP tax plan, they were saying that, oh, over a 10-year period, it was going to increase the deficit by like 1.7 trillion, and at that time the deficit was just below a trillion. And I said, no, it's going to increase much faster than that. You'll see. And look at that. I was right. Some people can say, oh, well, this is because of the pandemic. No, it was already increasing. It was already over a trillion even before the pandemic had settled in. But look, the actual deficit is 3.7 trillion. That means every year we're going 3.7 trillion more into debt. And it's compounding because there's this over here, which is US federal tax revenue. This has gone down about $1 trillion in the last month. I've been keeping track of this. You can even go, I can't go back like monthly, I can only go back every 4 years. We go back 4 years, you can see it was at 3.2 trillion. You can see that the state tax revenue was a little bit lower at this point, but still, the federal tax revenue was at 3.2 trillion, and right now it's only at 2.5 trillion. And I'm telling you guys, like just a month ago, or like a month and a half ago, this thing was about 3.5 trillion and 3.3 trillion. So the revenue has clearly been hit. Okay, it's going to be hit even more as this economic situation unfolds and as more people become bankrupt. And as this goes down more because less people are working and then there's less people paying federal taxes, federal income taxes, as this number goes down, this number will then go up exponentially more. And we can see this, check this out, in the time machine, you can go forward 4 years. Now, if all of this stays the same, if this number, the US federal tax revenue, continues to go down, this number continues to go up the way that it's going up, check this out. In 4 years, the US national debt will be $45 trillion. The tax revenue will be down almost another $1 trillion to $1.7 trillion. So by the end of Trump's second term, or whoever the hell is going to be president next, I'm pretty confident it's going to be Trump. This is what we're going to be looking at if everything stays the way that it is now, which it appears like it is, because it doesn't seem like this reopening is happening according to plan. It's not like it's not like they're opening as quickly as they shut down. So, and their states are already reclosing. So this is why I believe Trump is really threatening to cut the tax exemption for schools. You're going to see him probably go after more people, so you're going to see a lot more kabuki theater. You're going to see a lot more fake fights between the right and the left, and Trump going after more things. You know, he cut the WHO funding, so he's managed to save the federal government. I think we spend like 419 million in 2019 on the WHO. So they're trying to save money in as many places as possible, but it's not going to work. But anyway, that's all I have to say. I'll see you fellow slaves in the next video.